Hello guys, what's up, what's up? This is me Gunjan Moulik with this video here, and today is gonna be special guys. We have a guest appearance in this group, okay? And now maybe lots of you have known, maybe lots of you don't know who is he, okay? So his name is Sean West, okay? In a couple of minutes he will be here, and before that I want to give you some info, like who is he. So he's a coach, okay? He's a coach, been mentoring and coaching lots of people through anxiety and all. And he also is a nutritionist, okay? So he helps people for nutrition things and all. And I've been connected with this guy for a long time, but haven't interviewed and haven't knew about what the thing is doing. So he's doing his coaching and things really successfully. He also have his program, okay? His program name is Pure Master Academy. So this is only a few minutes left, okay? And if you have any questions regarding this, how it's gonna be, what it's gonna be, let me know in the comment box, and I'll be sure to question that, okay? So let's rock and roll, okay? Yeah. Enjoy the song. And yeah, only a couple of minutes. I think it's the time now. He must be appeared. I hope that he gets soon. Yeah. Before that, it's really pleasure meeting you as well as a person, and I think I've connected with you in Facebook. Or it's been a long time to know you, the things that you're doing. Okay, so I want to know a few things about this, and I think our people in our group wants to know about that too. That everybody was curious about it. So can you tell me about something? I mean, I want to know you in this interview, and the things that you're doing. I've heard that you have been doing. And saw that you are also doing anxiety coaching things and all. I've been told that you've been nutritionist, okay, for a long time, and I've also saw that you have a academy, like a Fear Buster Academy, right?
I do. So it's an online course that I run. I call it Fear Busters Academy. It's a 4-week course. What it really does is help people who have fears of anxiety, also limiting beliefs. And it really help entrepreneurs discover their voice and then break out of their shell so they can go out and serve their purpose and do what they want to do with their life. So I do the one-on-one coaching, and then I do the Fear Busters Academy course.
Okay, that's amazing. Like you've been coaching lots of people. I saw you've been also doing the 365 days live streaming things, which also inspired me to do that. Okay, it was amazing. Like yeah, your energy is amazing. Like boost. Yeah, that's the thing. Energy.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the fact. So can you tell me, like our audience is really curious to know about it. Like, how did you move into this coaching stuff? Like, how did you?
So moving into coaching, honestly, a lot of it was just my own personal experience, right? I think that's how it happens for most people. You know, when you go to any kind of event or you ever have a mentor or coach, you'll notice they all have some kind of story that they share, right? And for me, it's kind of funny because people see me, right, getting in the state and stuff, like I was just doing a second ago. And there's a reason why I do that. And that's something that I teach when I coach people. State is very powerful because your state will actually dictate your behavior, your beliefs, and then how much action you're going to take, and then the results you're going to get. But I actually used to be a very big introvert, and that's really, a lot of people don't believe that. They're like, there's no way you were an introvert. But I did. I suffered from social anxiety. Speaking in front of crowds was just absolutely terrifying for me. And even social interactions, just like one-on-one with people. And it really affected my life. You know, a lot of it came from just my upbringing, right? It was kind of like, and I don't want to, I got to be careful with that, right? Because you have to take ownership of that. And unfortunately, a lot of my life, I played the victim mindset, right? So, you know, I grew up in a family that wasn't very, we weren't very wealthy. We were poor. And, you know, that was an easy target for kids at elementary school. So I got picked on a lot, beat up a lot. And coming home after that, my family was very dysfunctional. Nobody got along. They had a bad relationship with money, bad relationship with each other. You know, they they basically got divorced. I went with my mom, didn't see my dad for many years. And, growing up without a father was very hard during my teenage years. And eventually that led to me hanging around with the wrong people, getting into bad activities, even doing drugs and getting a drug addiction. And, as I got older, a lot of those insecurities, I unfortunately went the victim mindset, right? And it ended up becoming a lot of depression, it became a lot of anxiety, a lot of social anxiety, a lot of limiting beliefs. And, there was a time in my life where it was showing up in my bank account. I couldn't get jobs that I wanted. It showed up in my relationships. I was going through a horrible divorce at the time. I was in my mid-20s. I was fighting a drug addiction, all these things going on. It was even showing up in my health. I had very bad health conditions. I was taking tons of tests on tons of medical drugs and stuff. And I just remember sitting in my car one night, and it was just like so much stuff going on, everything built up. And I was sitting in my car, and I just had my head on the steering wheel, and I was crying, and I felt this feeling of emptiness, right? And I always tell people, like, when I say empty, I don't mean like a word of expression, right? I mean, I literally felt empty in the gas tank. Like there was nothing in my body, and I can't explain it. And I don't know if any of your listeners or your audience, anybody's ever felt that way, they can relate. But it was such an uncomfortable feeling that I can't even describe it, right? I don't know if it was, grace of God or what, but something switched in me in that moment. And in that moment, I just decided that I wasn't ever going to feel like, never wanted to feel this feeling ever again. I didn't ever want to feel like this or be like this ever again, and that I was going to change. And I don't know, that's what I just did, right? I started investing in myself, getting mentors, getting coaches, going to events, taking courses. I'd say probably in the past, 12 years, I've probably invested over $30,000 in myself. And, rest is history from there, man. And like I said, it obviously comes from, things that you learn, but a lot of it is my own personal experience, my own story. Being an introvert and going to an extrovert, that's what really got me into it. It's showing that it's possible, right? Like if I can do it, because if you knew me back then, like it's like night and day, right? And if I can become an extrovert, I can become a coach, if I can make an influence on people, then anybody can, right? Where nobody is gifted more than anybody else. We all have gifts, we all have talents. And, you see people out there, and I'll use like his name because, obviously he's one of the biggest, but Tony Robbins and stuff. You see him out there filling the room of 40,000 people. He's no different than anybody else. It's just that Tony has devoted his life to this, right? And he's been doing this for, God, I think almost, well over 30 years now. So he's on a whole nother level because he's been doing this for so long. But, even he himself, right? He started from 2 people in a room, right? 3 people in a room to 10 people, and it just grew. So it just came from personal experience.
Okay, so there was something you like to say that a guilt or like something that you'll be feeling for a long time because you have a condition to be in a poor situation, or you have felt in this poor condition for a long time, and you'll be feeling bad and empty, and suddenly this shift happened. Okay, now maybe this shift happened for a reason, and I don't know that. But can you tell me like what or who inspired you to do all of these things? Like, why did this shift really happen? Why did you really took that change to be in this platform?
It goes back to the story, man. It's like, I think, human beings, we've all heard the saying that human beings are more likely to avoid pain than they are to seek pleasure. And I think that's what it was, right? I think, it's really weird, but I've always had a feeling deep inside that I was meant to do something big, right? Whatever that is. And I still, to this day, don't think I have completely fulfilled it. And I'm on this journey and on this mission. And, it's growing every year by year. More people start to reach out and stuff. And, more people are start attending Fear Busters Academy and stuff. But, I think part of it was just my own personal experience and just, feeling enough pain. And it's just been a driving factor, right? I have developed being, I would say, like a geek in personal development. So I'm really passionate about it. I really love it. It's something that I live and breathe, and I just love it. I would say probably one of my favorite mentors. I mean, I have so many, worked with so many coaches, and I've gone to so many events and stuff, and it's been a true blessing. But I would say one of my biggest inspirations in this field has been Tony Robbins. Something about him, I just click with him. And I've actually even had people tell me that when I'm in that peak state, right, and I'm have that high energy, that I kind of remind them of him. So that was really like, wow, that's really awesome. That's a compliment. But yeah, he's been a huge inspiration as far as, I guess you would say people that I look up to in this field. But the motivator was, just my own personal experience. And then from there on, just go, finding coaches, finding courses, and learning things on my own through my own wins and my own failures. One thing I encourage people to do, most people are scared of failing, scared of losing. I encourage failure now. Encourage your losses, encourage failure, because that's what's really going to make you grow. And that's how you're going to know what you're really made of, right? Because anybody can show up great and in state, right? And, right, on a wonderful day, right? But it's how you react on the bad days, right? How do you show up when things aren't going well? That's going to really determine your character and how hungry you are, right? How much you really want something. That's my answer for that one.
Okay, so your pain literally moved you, like you're feeling enough pain for that, and
it did. Yeah, and I mean, I don't know, man, I'm a weirdo, but pain seems to be a driver for me, right? Like, or even like when somebody tells me I can't do something, that's a huge motivator for me, right? Maybe other people are different, but for me, that's a big driving factor for me.
Okay. So it's amazing. Like sometimes that in our life, we want to do something, but we feel that we need some motivation. But we don't see that we can't really do it because our pain is not big enough to really move us. So sometimes I think it's also really important that our pain is also big enough that's really move us, right? So I think that your pain was really big. That's really moved you. And if it's not big, then what do you think? It would probably not move enough to take that action up till now, right? So yeah.
You know what? To be honest with you, I don't know. I mean, it could have very well ended up in the same place, even if not. That's just kind of how things played out for me, right? And some people don't believe in this, and some people say it's hocus pocus. But me personally, I do believe that. Things happen for a reason. I believe that you meet the right people for a reason. I believe things happen to you for a reason. Like I said, if those things didn't happen, could I have still done this? Possibly. Who knows, right? We don't know. But I personally see, right, when I look back, that certain things happen. If those things didn't happen, I would have never met certain people. I would have never been in certain places. And when you look back and you connect those dots, it's really strange how it works. So that's how it's kind of unfolded for me. And this is how it's unfolded for me. This is my story, right? It may be different for somebody else, but that's how it's been so far for me on this journey.
Okay. Can you tell me about the things, you wish you have known when you have started the journey? Some of the things.
Things I wish I would have known. I probably wish I would have started doing this sooner, right? And it's at a young age, man. If I would have known what I know now, right, many years ago, I just think wow, because there's so much out there, right? There's so much stuff with psychology and NLP and health, and I mean, there's such widespread when you really start to look at it. But one thing I really wish I would have known is that the 80-20 rule, and what I mean by that is 80% psychology. 20% strategy, right? Or 20% results. And this was the hardest thing for me, is that when I had coaches, when I had mentors, when I was going through my journey, when I was trying to build all this, it was, I was always trying to find the perfect strategy. Like, what are you guys doing? Like, what do you do to get clients and stuff? And, as I was building my business, and what I've come to find is that you attract that just through your energy, right? Like it's so weird. Like if you put yourself out there, you'll attract the right people. They'll come to you. But a lot of times is people don't believe enough in themselves, right? People will say they want something, or they want to start a coaching business, or they want to make a difference, and there's an internal blockage going on, and it's so hard to explain this, and it's almost like telling you like a picture of like I could tell you what the Grand Canyon looks like, right? And I could show you a postcard, and I could take pictures or show you on my phone, but until you actually get to the Grand Canyon, you're like, wow, this is really breathtaking, right? And that's kind of how it is. It really is 80% your psychology. And once you get out of the way of yourself, once you actually start to shift your own psychology, you start to dissect yourself, right? And see, okay, well, what are my negative habits, right? What am I holding on to? What is the core belief that I'm holding on that's, causing me not to take action? Or because people will feel that, right? If you want to be a coach, but you don't believe in yourself, you're going to give off that energy, and people are going to be like, this guy's really cool, or this lady's really cool, but there's just something that's just not feeling right or something, And when you truly are in a peak state, right? When you're in a peak state and you believe in yourself and you show up as the very best version of yourself, that it manifests, right? So I think the biggest thing for people to learn is that, you have to first believe in yourself, and you have to dissect your own psychology. And, part of that is by having help, right? Is by having coaches, is by having mentors and investing in yourself. And a lot of people, they don't want to do that, right? But then people wonder why they're not getting the results they want, because they're not pursuing what it is that they truly desire. That's probably, I would say probably the biggest thing I wish I would have known, because that was the hardest thing, honestly, and being vulnerable here, right? Because even though I'm a coach, I'm a human being. I'm not different, and it's not like I'm superhuman or anything. To this day, right, I have weeds that pop up, but I'm conscious about them. I grab them, and I pull them out right away before they can start to grow. And the biggest, hardest thing for me on my journey was the ability to believe in myself, right? And once that finally happened, once I finally discovered that core truth and I was able to get past that, then things started to get much easier.
Mm-hmm. So more likely you started believing in yourself, and you learned that 80-20, like 80% psychology, 20% action. And the psychology things really moved you to really be in this position. It's amazing. It's really amazing.
And it comes with repetition, man. It comes with, you really got to apply the stuff with consistency. And like I said, one of the biggest things was, also having coaches myself, and, also investing in myself, and then really applying it, right? Becoming disciplined, really establishing those new beliefs and adding emotion behind them. So it made it real, right? Because you can tell yourself anything a million times, but when you have emotion behind what you're doing, right, and feeling behind what you're doing, eventually you say it enough times with repetition, it eventually becomes your identity. It becomes who you are. It's kind of like, when you're riding a bike, right? You ride a bike for the first time. It's really hard, but eventually the more you do it, you become more comfortable, and then you just kind of soar, right, with your hands off the steering wheel, and it just becomes natural, right?
Natural. Yep. We can listen from other people to how to ride a bike, but unless until you really do that and learn from somebody who's doing it, we won't be able to know that. That's the thing. So do you have some coaches and all to help you and guide you? So you have also been in this, okay? By the way, but there are lots of things that in this coaching industry, lots of people don't know about, but still say about those things. Okay? I've been hearing some of the myths that's been going on, like coaching industry is kind of like voodoo things and all, and people they do some spell on you and your life really changes, or it's like a spiritual enlightenment things. Okay, lots of people say, is it like spiritual enlightenment things, or would you be like a guru or something like that? What did you say? What would you say to when you hear about this type of things? Okay, what would you say to debunk it?
Part of it is spiritual enlightenment. Could you be a little more specific with the question?
Well, lots of people who says that it's like a voodoo things, like magical spells thing. The people really just put spell on you, and that's your life really transferred. Or some people says that it's a spiritual enlightenment things and all. Okay, so like somebody gives you enlightenment, suddenly your life really is transformed magically. Like I see lots of people who gives this things. Okay, like 7 days transformation, 8 day transformation, earn money in 30 days. So these are all the coaching stages going on. You have been in this for a long time. What would you say? Is this a myth or is this real?
I mean, it is spiritual enlightenment at some point, right? Because we are spiritual beings in a materialistic world. It works, right? It depends on what you're desiring in your life, right? People, if somebody's very successful, right? I'm a big believer in modeling. Well, what did that person do, right? Well, how was their state? How did they show up every single day? What strategies did they do to achieve the life that they desired, right? And if part of it is modeling that, right? And then part of it is also to the belief, right? And getting past the things that are suppressed, right? A lot of people, we're born into a society that from day one, right? We're told that life's pain. A lot of people don't grow up very wealthy. A lot of people aren't taught, spirituality or things like NLP, techniques with psychology to shift our beliefs to something empowering that's positive. And a lot of people, they grow up, I always describe this, right? So your subconscious mind, think of it like this. So you have your fight or flight response, right? And basically what that is, it's a defense mechanism. Our brain is a primitive brain. So in the days of cavemen, cavewomen, your brain, you only have two fears. There's only two fears that you're actually born with. And it's the fear of falling and it's the fear of loud noises. And falling, it's so you don't fall to your death. Loud noises is so, if the earth is blowing up, there's a volcano coming, you don't get hit by a rock or something. Or let's say, an animal was coming out of the bushes, most likely they were coming to eat you, right? They weren't coming to give you a hug or something. So it's a survival mode. Well, your subconscious mind does the same exact thing, right? It's a lot of us, we grow up, you have a bully or something, and that is, I always use the analogy of a brick wall, right? So it's like a brick that goes in your wall. And eventually, maybe you get into a relationship when you get older, and then you get your heart broken. That's another brick in your wall. And then you get older, you get in the education system, right? You have to pick a career when you get out of high school or when you get out of college. And then, a lot of people don't even know what they want to do or who they truly are yet, right? And they just go into a career that doesn't align with them. It's another brick in their wall. And then eventually they have all these stresses, right? They put all these bricks in their wall. And then this brick, these emotional bricks, right, that were there to protect us, we start to build it so high, right? We start to build it all around us that was once there to protect us, now traps us, right? And I mean, I guess it really comes down to what a person believes, right? If somebody believes that coaching is hocus pocus and it's not good for them, then that's fine, right? They don't need to go down the road of getting a coach. But I mean, I would question, are they getting the results that they want in life, right? And if somebody else is getting those results, it's not that they're superhuman. It's because they did something that got them those results. So, if you want the same results as that person, then yeah, coaching really works, right? And it can be many things. There's coaches out there who, do like NLP. There's success coaches, right? There's coaches, spirituality. And I think part of it is spirituality, right? Part of it is it's the internal work, right? And, part of you desires that for a reason, right? And that's what you should really listen to. Why do you desire that? Why do you want that, right? But I believe that I don't think it's a myth. I mean, obviously it works. It's definitely worked for me. It's worked for hundreds of thousands of other people. It's changed the lives of tons of people. And I even see it when I do my coaching, right? When I do my course or one-on-one coaching, people tell me all the time, like how effective it was and how big it made a difference. And for me, that's a motivating factor, right? And people do it by themselves, right? People will heal themselves by themselves. You already know what you need to do with your life, but sometimes you need someone there to kind of guide you or give you the tools, support you, love you up, help you, give you that push, right? Maybe sometimes even light a fire under your butt when you're not taking enough action. And yeah, I mean, I think coaching is powerful and effective. I think it's maybe got given a bad name, maybe to some people, because there are so many coaches. It seems nowadays like everybody's a coach. So, but there are really, really good coaches out there, right? Maybe there's some bad ones. I don't know. I'm not knocking anybody, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good coaches. I mean, you look at, use him again. I'm just using him again as an example because he's so popular, but Tony Robbins, right? I mean, he's, last time I checked online, he's like a net worth of 500 million. He's inspired millions of people around the world. He's fed millions of people around the world. He's doing amazing things, not only with his coaching where he's filling up 40,000 rooms, but he's doing all these other projects like Underground Railroad where, they're helping children who are being trafficked. And I mean, I don't know, you can do there's people out there that are doing some really, really amazing things in the world, right? And I feel like even with my own coaching, right, I'm doing really amazing things. I helping people, and and it's an amazing feeling. For me, life is all about contribution, right? Contribution equals fulfillment, and there's it is your own self growth as well too. You're right. If you're not your best self, then you can't help people to your best ability. So there is a level of healing yourself first. And then, as you show off as the very best version of yourself, being able to influence and help others become their very best selves. And it creates a ripple effect, right? You help one person and they eventually, you can help them to inspire them to actually take the action and go out and get the things that they desire in life. And then they can go do the same thing for somebody else, right? And I truly believe that's what we're here for. So sorry, I know that was kind of a long answer, but that's, I tend to do that. I ramble on a lot. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. Like it's a ripple effect. Like you were telling about some coaching. Somebody does a bad shit, but most of the coaches that you see up till now, they have been doing some really good work. Like Tony Robbins is doing really great work. Like he's been doing, I think, almost like 40 years, and like he's doing really great.
Like Les Brown, Brian Tracy. There's
Brian Tracy.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many coaches out there that are very
so many. So like it's a kind of like building a ripple effect of a good work. Like you help somebody, then he grows, then he knows, then he helps somebody. That's amazing. Like with up till now, I think world has been like a kind of bad ripple effect, which been affecting people for a long, long time. Like from World War II to up till now, whatever things happened in politics. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So these things may be like shaping people's life and truly helping people in a different way. Like it's help for you, like the same as way, like to help you to move from that place, like to feel that pain and mediocrity to now what you are doing. So like maybe lots of people now would like to move into this coaching business. For some people, it's really exciting. For me too. Like it's exciting how people changes people's life.
Yeah.
Some of the beginners want to move now into the coaching business and they want to start this. Okay, some of them are really thinking. So, what advice would you like to give from the things that you have learned? I mean, what advice would you give to someone who want to enter?
So I would say first, ask yourself why you want to do it, right? And that's with anything in life, because I mean, and people think it's really cool being a coach, which it is, but that's because that's what I'm passionate about. So whether it's coaching or whether, you choose to be a fireman or an astronaut, right? Whatever it is that you want to do with your life, make sure that it's something that you're passionate about, right? And, some people maybe get into it and discover that it's not really what they wanted, right? And some people just discover it's their passion, right? It's their obsession. It's what they live for. That has seemed to be the case for me, right? And that's my own personal experience, is that I love it, right? I'm obsessed with it. I geeked out about it. I just any information that I can find, or any courses that I learn, or any kind of new, things that are out there. There's all types of stuff, like I said, like NLP. There's people who do this stuff called shadow work. And, anytime I come across something new, it's like, I wonder, this is really interesting. And then I, look at the experts in that field. And yeah, I mean, I'm just almost like a child, right? That sponge-like mind. And I'm obsessed with it. I love personal development. I also have a great passion for health. You know, they go hand in hand together. And for me, it's just passion, right? And I love doing coaching. I cannot imagine doing anything else, honestly. It's not even a thought in my mind. You know, this is what I really, really, really love to do. And I think that's the big thing, right? You can go down that road, but make sure that it's something that you really want to do. And part of that is asking why you're doing it, right? What is your why? What is the reasons behind what you're doing, right? And is it something that, do you have to push yourself to do it? Or is it something that just like naturally grabs you and, you know, pulls you, right? You don't even need a cup of coffee, right? You could just jump out of bed and you're just feel like $1 million, woo, right? And just love doing it. That's the big key. And it's not just coaching, right? It's with anything in life. You look at anybody who's very successful at what they do, they have a deep passion. You look at somebody even like Sylvester Stallone, right? I use him because he tends to share his story once again a lot. And it's become a very big story, but if you guys know the story behind him, he always wanted to be an actor, right? He always wanted to write films. He always wanted to be in scripts. And that's how he got famous, was through Rocky, right? A lot of people told him he couldn't be an actor. They told him, no, you don't like this, right? You look like you know, you're ugly. You're never going to be an actor, right? But he didn't accept that, right? Because he had a passion for it. It was something that he truly desired, something he was passionate about. And one night, you know, he was down on his luck. He had lost everything. He was in a bar. He watched a fight, and that's how he got the inspiration for Rocky. He went home. He wrote the entire script. He was given multiple, like, people wanted to buy his scripts, but he wanted to star in the movie, and they told him no. So he wouldn't give his script away. They offered him a boatload of money. He still said no until eventually they came to agreement, let him star in the movie. And it was a huge success, right? And he ended up being a huge movie star for action films and even wrote certain series and stuff. So I think, you know, that's the answer for that is it's got to be something that you're truly passionate about. And part of that comes into your whys and getting in tune with and in alignment with who you truly are. Who are you? What do you want in life? Like, really, like, and that's not like, sometimes that can be just like people use that as like a surface answer, question, but really go deep, right? Peel the layers and go down to your core. What is the truth of your life?
So understanding the truth of your life, this is what you mean, like truth of your life, or what a person is really good at, or what can he do or serve in a better way. So you have known for yourself that it's the coaching thing that's really good for you. Like nobody needed to push you in that, right? And this thing really comes from you.
Yeah, right? I mean, there's no push whatsoever, right? It's not like, I gotta push myself to do this. Like, no, I like it, and I really sincerely love my you know, the people that I work with.
Okay, so lots of people who like enters in this coaching business, I see probably lots of people who are interested in the coaching business have given made lots of people wealthy, because most of people make example like Tony Robbins, example like Dean Graziosi, or anybody who is in coaching business and all. They feel that it's a make money scheme or something like that. Go there and you will earn lots of money. Or some people think that they don't need to do the 9-to-5 job, that they can do is in their home, from their home, is comfortable. So is there anything that you would like to give suggestion? Is this anything related to this, or is it more than that? Or is it just something that you need to be known from inside? It must come from you. What would you say about that?
Well, once again, right, somebody like Dean or somebody, they got results, right? And they can prove that. So if that person's able to get those results, there's no reason why you can't either. And, you know, it kind of comes back down to, once again, that 80-20 rule, right? Believing in yourself. And this is the biggest problem that most people run into, right, is that they do not believe in themselves, right? And or there's some kind of blockage, right, that's stopping that. But if you're hungry enough, if you're truly hungry and you truly desire that, right? See, the thing is that most people want instant gratification, right? They want it to just, they want the magic pill, right? They just want something that's just going to give them the results that they want. They're just going to take this course, and by the end of the course, they're just going to be like, life's going to completely change. I'm going to be making, you know, 6 figures within, you know, just 2 weeks. And that's not how it is, man. It's I'm not gonna lie. It's sometimes it's a struggle. Sometimes it's a process. But you know, it is a long process. But it's the ones that truly desire something, the people that are truly hungry, the people that are truly passionate, the people that keep on going even when it's tough. Those are the people that get the results that they want, right? And that's the difference between why 2 people, right? 2 people can go to the same exact event, right? Whatever it is you're going to, right? And one person can leave there, they can both take notes, and one person will leave and they will do nothing. 2 years later, they will be right back at the same event doing the same exact thing. The other person, 2 years later, they are, you know, living the dream that they desire, right? They're doing all the things that they said they were going to do. And the difference is their own psychology, their own mindset, right? And that was, once again, even one of the biggest factors for me. And this is something that I help people with when I coach people, right? When I coach people, whether it's in my course or even one-on-one, this is what I help people do, is break down those internal blockages, those limiting beliefs that are holding them back so they can go out and pursue whatever it is that they want to do with their life. It's different for other people, but it's not going to come over, you know, overnight. It's not instant gratification, right? But if you truly desire it, you keep going, you can, you know, handle it and find a way, right? Like I said, I embrace failure now. I used to have a negative relationship to it. I used to think it was a bad thing, but now it's like, oh yeah, I failed. So what could I have done differently here, right? And that's the thing, right? You can't get, we tend to attach emotions, right? We tend to attach stories behind things. So like maybe something doesn't work out and then all of a sudden you say, oh, I'm a failure. I'm not good enough, right? I can't do this. That's a story that you're telling yourself, and where your focus goes, that's what's going to grow. So the more you tell yourself that, the more disempowered you're going to be. So it really comes down to how you look at it and how you maneuver through it.
Okay. So it's like a really like people, how they see it. And if they believe in it, or more likely, if they really want to do it, then they will get the result, right? So, are there really any resources that that help you up till now in this journey? Like you have been through lots of support. Could you tell the particular some resources that have helped you up till now to be good at this coaching things?
So I mean, you know, like I said, I have coaches and mentors. One thing that I really liked was NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming. That has seemed to be a very powerful tool for me personally. That's something that I really enjoyed, and I see a lot of results with people. Also, spirituality, a lot of meditation has been very helpful for me as well. And that, like I said, once again, that's for me. But yeah, I mean, it comes down to really shifting your beliefs, and NLP is really good for that. But the other thing too is getting coaches, invest in yourself, right? You have to, if you want to, you know, there's that saying, right? If you want to know the road ahead, ask those coming back. And it's so true, right? It's an old saying, and there's a reason why it's popular, because it really is the truth, right? Why try to figure things out for yourself when you can go to somebody who's already been down that road, right? It kind of gives you a shortcut. But it does also come down to your own personal responsibility of taking the action and knowing who you are, right? And what exactly it is you want, why you want it, and why you're doing it, right? And then seeing the bigger picture too is something more than yourself. What is the intention behind what you're doing, right? And that's the other thing. Most highly successful people, and you know, even including myself as a coach, I have, it's not just about me, right? It's bigger than myself too, and it's about the people that I help. And I said it before, and it may sound cheesy, but I truly believe that, you know, contribution equals fulfillment, and that's what life's about.
Wow. Like you have already said that contribution equals to fulfillment, and lots of people who really contribute see that they're really fulfilled. yeah, so your main resources, what you do say is that like coaching things. Coaches have really helped you investing stuff. And I feel that lots of time our investment and our success is kind of like equal. And these things, I think Warren Buffett also says that you investing in knowledge is gonna give you more fulfillment in life. So yeah, I kind of relate with this stuff. But
Yeah.
still, I feel yeah, yeah.
And the other thing is too is getting clear about what it is you truly want and you desire. What is success, right? Because success is different to many other people. What is success? Is success a certain amount of money? Is success, having a certain impact on the world? Is success, having a perfect relationship and a healthy family, right? And a thriving, environment at home? What is success for you? And also the biggest thing is just getting out of your own way, right? I always say this, getting out of, the only thing that's stopping you is what's right between your ears, right? And it's, well, I guess a little more than that, right? It's between what's in your ears and it's what's in here as well too. But if you listen to what's in here and get out of here, then you get into alignment, right?
So, listening to your heart, this is the amazing facts too. But there are lots of people, so many people who are in this coaching business too, and they're running a coaching business, and they find this is too much challenging, it's too much to handle, overwhelming. Why is that? Why do you think most people have this kind of feeling at the end of the day?
Once again, man, it goes back to psychology. You got to dissect your own psychology and rebuild it, right? You have limiting beliefs there, and those limiting beliefs, the state that you're showing up in, right? The state that you're showing up in, that's going to affect your beliefs. It's going to affect how much action you take and the results that you have. And you have to take consistent action. You got to constantly dig out those weeds. You got to constantly nourish that garden. You got to constantly put these things into repetition until eventually what you want, what you desire becomes your identity. And two, you're not hungry enough, right? I mean, it's honest, right? A lot of people sadly are looking for instant gratification, and it's not like that. Maybe some people get it right away overnight. You have those success stories where it's like they go from, nothing to everything. But for the most people, man, it's consistency, right? It's process, and it's a way of living. And, until you get out of your own way, until you actually see, we're always looking for answers here or there or outside here. And it's until this inside changes, you will always get the same results out there.
Okay.
And it's
so consistent.
so hard for people to grasp that, but that's the honest to God truth.
Okay. So it's about consistency. Like more consistent people be, and more they will not feel this overwhelming stuff or these things too hard stuff. The more they do.
Yeah, it's consistency. Consistent. And it is what you believe too. You are what you believe.
And
if you believe that this is not going to work, if you believe that this is just a waste of time, then it is a waste of your time. If you believe you can't do it, if you believe you can, once again, I'm a big quote guy, right? And there's that old saying, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right.
You're right. Yeah. I think Aristotle once said that think you can or can't, or both are equal, right? What do you think, but still, most common reason that most people fail in this coaching industry? What do you think?
Well, once again, it's their beliefs. Two, it's their ability not to change, right? So a lot of people, they'll just keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. And you got to figure out when to stop, right? When it's almost like kind of when to hold and fold, right? You need to know what's not working and what is, right? If you're doing the same thing over and over again and you're not getting the results, then maybe it's time to try a different strategy, right? It doesn't mean give up, but find something else that's going to work for you, right? And it's different for everybody, right? It depends on who you are. For me, I'm more heart-to-heart kind of person. I'm more, have you ever looked at like a DISC test?
DISC? What is a DISC?
DISC.
DISC. What did you say that?
So a
Like,
DISC test is like different
what it is.
personalities, right? So you got like your D personality people, you have your, which are very dominant, they're usually leaders, they know what they want, they're very go-getters. You have your I, which are like influential people, these are like your extroverts, life of the party, very influential. S, they're more like very heart-to-heart, there's got to be trust there. A little more introverted, and then C is like your conscientious, which is basically like they're analytical, very data people, a lot of doctors, engineers, they like the facts and stuff. And it really depends on who you are. So for me, I'm like IS, right? And when I'm stressed or when I'm not my best, I go straight to D. But for the most part, I'm IS. And for me, it's like, I just do better with that one-on-one, the more organic approach and reaching out to people or doing webinars and stuff or doing live events. That seems to work for me because that's just who I am, right? I'm more like the extrovert, the voice, the person, the influencer, right? I mean, there are certain, there's things out there that you can do, right? There's like Facebook ads and funnels and stuff out there. But honestly, I don't even do that stuff. I mean, I have people do that for me because I've tried to do that myself, and I feel like it takes away from what I'm good at, right? So I've actually started to just have people do those things for me so I can focus on what I'm good at, and what I'm good at is this, right? Just influencing people and more of a organic, heart-to-heart, person, the human-to-human approach.
So it's like people, most common reason maybe it's like beliefs things, and people are doing several other things that they just shouldn't be doing.
Right.
Not natural to them.
Yeah, part of it is the state that you show up in, right? That's the most important. How are you showing up? And most people, that's why I always say get in the state at the very early morning of your day, right? And part of this, one thing I always teach to people, like getting in the state, is one, there's the way I teach it in my course, there's 5 parts to it, right? So one is it's your mantra, right? So it's the words, the language that you say to yourself. So I literally have a mantra that I say to myself. And then 2 is the conscious emotion, right? So that you have your logical part of your brain, but now you have your amygdala, right? That primitive part of your brain, that reptilian part of your brain that reacts on emotion, right? And that's what triggers that fight or flight response. So you have to have an emotion behind, a feeling behind what you're doing. So what I'll have people do is anchor something, like think of an emotion that you want to feel, a time in your life when you felt that feeling, or even think about somebody you love, right? Somebody that inspires you and gives you that feeling. And then once you have your mantra, once you have that conscious emotion, that feeling, now it's what I call your primitive voice. So every single animal, even as sophisticated as we are, we're still mammals, right? And every single animal on this planet has its own, what we call like a click in a whirl, right? So when a dog is aggressive, right, or feels like it's got to protect its territory, it goes in that fight or flight response, it starts to growl, it starts to bark, right? Same thing with a lion, right? To establish their dominance, a lion roars, right, when it's in that fight or flight response. Human beings, we're the same exact way. So you got to let that primitive voice out. What I mean by that is there's a difference between saying, I'm confident, I'm powerful, I'm amazing, right? And there's a difference between that and saying, I'm powerful, I'm confident, I am amazing, yes, right? You notice the difference there, right? And all of a sudden your brain's like, whoa, like we really are powerful, we are really confident. Like some people are like, whoa, this is crazy, right? But it's really powerful and effective and it works. And that's what I do, right? And then the last part of that is your physiology. So it's your body language, how you hold yourself, right? There's a difference between, shrugging your shoulders and then standing empowered, right? And then the other last part is a power song. So I tell people, you can think back of maybe when you felt depressed or something, there's maybe a song that you hear, a sad song, it puts you in a depressing state. You probably also got another song where it's really powerful, right? Maybe you got that one song that you listen to when you're in the gym and stuff. It gives you a ton of energy. So you have to understand that music is a form of expression. It's a form of emotion, right? And feelings, and expressing feelings. So part of this is you play your power song, then you have a mantra, and then you have you think of the emotion you want to feel. You let out that power voice. That's right. And you stand powerful, and you do all these, and you get yourself into peak state. And when you do this, man, I'm telling you, it changes your whole entire day. You will show up as a different person. You will take different, see, I'm just, right now, like, see how my energy, that's what I just naturally do that. And that's not even the state. Like, I'm not even playing my song and saying my full mantra. But sometimes people see it on my live streams and stuff. But, and it's a total game changer. So part of it's your state that you're showing up in. Part of it's your beliefs. And then part of it is your ability to change, your ability to bounce back, right? Your ability to handle challenges and then figure out what's not working for you, what's right. And also, you know, getting in alignment with yourself. What works for you, right? And, I mean, part of it is there are strategies, right? You can model what somebody's doing and get the same results, but it's not just that one thing, right? And everybody thinks, well, it's just this one thing. No, it's a series of things, and you have to bring them all to the table, right? And you have to do them with consistency. And when you do them with consistency, eventually it becomes who you are, right? We live who we believe we are. Man, that's what it is, man.
It's like we become who we believe we are. Most people don't believe. I mean, most people. So this can be the reason. Like, most people don't believe that they can succeed in this business.
Right.
And most probably they give up. So they need to believe first. And this is and they believe somebody that they want to become, and they believe who they want to be or who they're meant to be, right?
Yeah.
So this is an amazing factor.
Yeah, and then also first, I would say before even that, getting in alignment with yourself. Who are you? What is it that you truly, what is it that you desire, right? What is your why? And then once you know who you are, then go pursue that. And then I would say once you pursue that, get a coach, get a mentor, right? Get somebody who's going to push you, right? And, you know, if any of your listeners, if they want, I mean, I could share my information at the end here if they want to reach out to me. But yeah, I mean, that's part of it, right? Is also having the support. And, you know, you'll ask any successful person, they'll say, or, you know, anybody who is doing what they want to do in their life, and they're, you know, pursuing the things that they love, is they all say, invest in yourself. And there's a reason why they say that.
So it's like a series of things that you need to do in order to become who you want to be, and just changing the beliefs. That's amazing. Like, people don't think that in that way. People think that I will just move into the coaching business and start this and I'll get successful. Right. It's a one-way thing. Do it and become successful. But most people don't understand that there is a series of things, a total changing in psychology to understanding their beliefs, and then following what they want, who they are, knowing who they are, getting alignment and the coaching. It's a total serious thing that the people need to learn in that way, right? So yeah. Okay. So there's a few more things that I would ask. That you have been in this job for a long time. So what did you say your favorite memory up till now? What made you like some favorite memory in this industry, in this project that you're doing?
You know, there's so many things, man. I mean, there's a lot of memories, a lot of people I've met along the way. So, I mean, there's so many. I don't think I could even narrow it down to one. This whole entire journey has been a really awesome experience. And, you know, it's not even over, right? And I don't even know when it's going to be over. Could be today, could be next week. And it could be, you know, a year from now, could be 40 years from now. That's the biggest thing, though, right, is that none of us know when our time is up. So I would say, you know, live life to your fullest. Don't get in your way, and just live to your fullest. Do the things that you want, and just go for it. This one precious life of yours, because you don't know when your time's up, right? And like I said, there's just been so many experiences. I don't know if I can, you know, put my finger on just one. But I enjoy the whole journey, right? The journey is just as fun as the destination. And that's
journey.
That's my answer to that one.
So it's about the journey. It's about the journey, right? Like
it is, and I think in that journey you get to learn who you truly are, right? You get to learn what you're truly made of, and you get to learn a lot about yourself. And you know, by learning a lot about yourself, it allows you to be better and show up better for other people. And I think we all can learn from ourselves, right? We can learn from other people, but the greatest lessons are the things that come internally.
Wow. Things that you learn from this journey. And it's an internal change that you're talking, that comes, internal change, the shift. It's amazing. Like people who don't even, it's an amazing example. The people who want to start at this moment, or people haven't started yet and living a completely like mediocre lifestyle that you have used to live. And they moved into this, or they get in contact with the coaching stuff. Suddenly they feel that, oh, this is what it is. This is amazing stuff. Like people, life is transforming. Like, and they move into the series of changes, and the internal shift really happens. I mean, this is amazing. The internal shift, and they look back after a while, years, like, oh, 10 years back, I was that guy, and now today, what I am, like, there's a complete shift. And this thing doesn't happen in school days. This thing doesn't happen in college days. People stay the same. After 6 years, you look these people, they stay same. But suddenly, this coaching industry is transforming people's life. And some people believe, some people don't believe, but some people move into that and they become and evolve and become the person that's just like you are right now. So it's amazing, right?
Yeah, and and I think a lot of that too is where it's a different time and day and age right now, and there's a lot of things going on in the world right now. It's definitely shifting rapidly, but I think people are really starting to go inward. There is a level of consciousness going on, right? And I think that's why we're seeing all these dramatic changes, and it can either be fear-based or it can be going the road of love, light, and truth, right? And that's where the lessons come, right? Going inward and discovering who it is that you truly are.
So it's a total self-discovery thing. So I think you have been in this for a long, and there must be something that you have learned, the unique skill that you have developed. Can you tell me some of the unique skill that you have developed up till now, which helped you to become successful in this coaching thing?
Speed of recovery. That's the biggest one. I know that's a weird answer too, but once again, I mean, obviously, like I said, there's tools, like things I've actually learned, like tools and techniques, practices, right, that can help people shift their belief processes and stuff, and really go internal and have breakthroughs, and totally shift their whole psychology. But for me personally, is the speed of recovery, right? Bouncing back and not holding on to things, right? It's like, it's not that I don't have bad days or that, I'm never in a negative state. I am, but I catch it right away and then I get rid of it right away. It's right. I ask myself, why am I reacting like this, right? Or how can I react differently? Or, what is going on that I'm allowing myself to act this way or have this belief? And, a lot of people can have an event and then stay in a certain spot, right? They can stay in a negative vibration for a long time. And if you can learn to maneuver fastly and bounce back fast, that is a huge game changer as well.
So the speed of recovery, like you have this amazing skill that you have developed. That the faster you can recover from a bad state or the negative state. Is it the thing that you're telling?
Yeah.
Bad state or the negative mode to a good mode, or
this will propel you forward. The faster you can overcome challenges, right? And a lot of people, it's like, once again, we go back to it really stems down. It's all that 80-20, man. It's
80-20.
And if you can either self-sabotage when it's like you face a challenge, or you can climb the mountain.
Okay. So it's a good point. 18-20. Okay. If you so it's a speed of recovery thing. Most people are struggling. Most people still struggle. They can change it. And could it be possible that can you tell that what is that thing that speed of recovery things that helps you? Like how is it possible, like, for a person to change that? I mean, it's kind of like secret or something like that, but how is it really possible to some people who takes 3 or 4 days, 5 days, in their in the best state and can't do anything about the business, but how can it become your, I think, superpower or something like that, this speed of recovery?
Yeah, and once again, man, it comes down to repetition. See, it's all connected.
Repetition.
Having a coach, it's about having someone who's going to support you and push you when you're not taking the action, but also, that person's going to push you to implement those daily habits, right? To implement those things that you say you're going to do. And two, it's actually putting them into practice, not having it be self-help, be shelf-help, but actually putting it into action. And, it's actually doing the habits, the patterns with consistency, catching yourself when you're doing those negative patterns, and then shifting that belief process and shifting that state. And it's something that you got to continuously do. It's not something, like I said, you just do it for a week and then, everything's good. It's something that you have to do. It does take a level of commitment, a level of passion, and a level of work. And you need that. That's why passion for what you do is very important, because if you have passion and emotion behind what you're doing, you're more likely and more willing to push through all the bullshit. Where if you don't have a lot of passion, a lot of feeling behind it, your odds of when things get tough, you might just give up and say, you know what, this is bullshit. I don't want to do it anymore because my heart's not completely in it 100%. So it's all holistic. It's all connected.
Okay, one funny question I want to ask it. If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Make all politicians disappear. I'm just kidding.
Why is that? Why is that?
I'm just kidding.
Okay.
No, man, I've never really been asked that question. That's a weird one. Maybe. It'd be cool to be like Superman, right? He's got like all types of powers. Like you can see through walls, and lasers come out of your eyes and fly. Maybe I want to be like Superman. I don't know. I've never really thought that too much about that question. It's a cool question, though.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, Superman. Every kid wants to be a Superman. Like was 5 or 6? In my days too. Yeah, Superman. The cool guy is to find the sky. Yeah, that's an amazing role model. And still, you can learn lots of things from him too, like from his movies, all the animated from cartoon things, and what is in the DC world. But I'm not moving to that. But one last question, okay? Just we're moving into the end of it, okay? If you're doing this for some reason, right? And people still want to know about it. That why? Like, what is the impact, okay? Or what is the message that you want to try to give to people and to the world by doing the things that you are doing right now?
So my message to the world is that we all have something to give. My course is obviously Fear Busters Academy, right? And one thing I help people do is discover their voice, overcome those fears, because 75% of the world has a fear of public speaking, right? It's a crazy number. But even more, helping entrepreneurs overcome their limiting belief, because we all have gifts, we all have talents, we all have something we can offer, and we are the most intelligent form of life on this planet. And it's up to us, right, as powerful as we are, to take on that responsibility to do good things with that responsibility. And we haven't been, right? Unfortunately, there has not been a lot of success because there's people with bad intentions, or not everybody, right? But there's some people who have negative intentions, and those seem to be the people that are, running things where, there's a lot of people out there that have really good intentions, and they're doing some really beautiful things, and they're changing the world in a positive way. And we need more people like that, right? And that's what I want to help do. And that's what it really is for me, is helping those kind of people get out of the way of themselves so they can make this world a better place, right? And I always say this thing, live in peace, love with passion, right? And it's more than just like, something I just say at the end of all my videos and stuff. There's really there's a lot of meaning behind it. I actually have it tattooed on my leg, but that's my phrase that I always say to people. That's my thing. Live in peace, love with passion, right? And what I mean by that is, one, living in peace, right? It's like living in peace with yourself, right? Getting rid of those negative beliefs, those limiting beliefs, those fears. So many people make decisions based on fear, right? A fear of failure, a fear of being judged, a fear of not being loved, a fear of sometimes even success, right? It's always a fear. But fear, if you have fear-based, if you make your decisions based on fear, if you follow the fear and you don't follow your heart, you will never be in the right place at the right time. And the one scenario I always tell people is, you know, think of like two roads, right? You can go down the road of not facing your fears, playing it safe, but think about that, literally, like close your eyes, right? And go down that road and think about that, going 15, 20, 30 years down the road, right? 40 years down the road. And now imagine laying on your deathbed, right? And all your fears and, you know, all your talents, right? All your ideas, everything that you ever wanted to accomplish. Imagine it dying with you. And the only question that you can ask yourself is what if, right? So many people are scared to face their fears. To me, the most terrifying thing I could ever experience is the feeling of regret, right? Laying on my deathbed thinking, what if, right? What if I would have pursued that business? What if I would have, you know, did the things that I love, that I desire? What if I would have been in that relationship, maybe that people didn't approve of, but I knew in my heart that we were soulmates, right? What if, right? And then dying with that. It's the worst thing in the world, right? This is what so many people do. They take that stuff to the graveyard. And imagine going down that other road now, right? In your audience, if they're listening, I want them to close their eyes and just really envision this, right? Going 15, 20, 30 years down the road. And imagine doing all the things that terrify you, right? Playing full out, as hard as it was, doing them, and then achieving all the things that you wanted, or maybe even if you didn't achieve, but at least you didn't have it as a what if, right? At least you were able to say, you know what, I actually found out that really wasn't what I wanted, but it led me to this, and now I feel fulfilled, right? And you can look back on your life and everything that you ever desired, you wanted, anything that you ever were scared of, you did it, right? And you can, you know, there's that term, live full and die empty. You hear Les Brown talk about that a lot. And it's like, you can look back, even Dalai Lama says, he's got this thing, 18 rules of living, and one of them is live an honorable life. So when you can look back on it and enjoy it a second time around. And imagine being at the end of your life, doing all the things that scared you, but you can look back on your life and enjoy it a second time, right? You can look back and say, wow, like what an amazing ride that was. So, you know, when I say live in peace, right, it means letting go of fear and just truly being at peace with yourself. And then when I say love with passion is have passion behind whatever it is you do. And it's not just your career, but everything you do in life, your relationships, your health, your career, your spirituality. Live a passion in life, right? Have a passion, an intention, and a why behind what you do. And when you can do that, right, when you can live in love with passion, people can feel that, right? We pick up on each other's energy, and when we can do that, that's when we show up and really make a difference in this world. And we all can, right? We all can make a difference. We all feed off each other. The only thing that stops us is ourselves. And more people can live their core truth and get out of that, right? And just live their core truth. I really believe this world would be a better place. So that's what it's about, right? I'm nothing special. I'm just the messenger, and my message is through my coaching. That's how my message works.
Wow. Wow. It's totally mind shifting. Living through your passion, doing the things that you always talk about this thing, live your passion, and the things that live in peace, live in passion. So I think, finding your passion is somewhat in the journey. People don't have passion in the beginning, but building a passion, doing something to find their passion, involving themselves to find their passion,
Yeah,
and getting this.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, getting something that you feel is you're passionate about, and then the life really begins. So it's some part of our life is finding the passion. What we are really passionate about, right? What do you think about it?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I was going to say. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. What I was going to add to that was that, it's when you're living with passion, right, and you're pursuing the things that you want, it's like I said, it's something bigger than yourself, right? It's seeing the bigger picture, and that is the greatest motivator right there, right? And you don't, and I believe too that like you were just saying, right, is like sometimes, I mean, you have to discover the passion sometimes, right? That's part of the journey. Sometimes pursuing and going through the journey, right? In that process, you find the passion, or your passion finds you.
Wow. This is amazing. Like people who don't who are not finding, are still living in an illusionary world, and hearing from other people, or just living in a box, watching television. Apart from that, some people are truly trying to find the passion, who are really giving the time to pursue this passion, or finding what their passion is about. They can really find, right? They can really find, and I think in that way you found out too. Like I think you have given some time to. What do you think? Why did you like passion found you, or you found the passion? What did you say?
I think deep down, I've always had a passion. I've always had a passion to help other people, and always, I don't know, that's just who I am, right? I've always been a very heart-to-heart person. I've always loved interacting, always loved influencing, always loved helping other people, always loved giving back. But I think, yeah, through that journey, I really got to discover like who I am and what it is that I really wanted to do and how I wanted to do it.
Wow. Live in peace, love with passion.
Yeah.
You found out how to do it.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So, like before ending this, I want to really ask you something. Like, if our people, okay, want to find you and want to connect with you with the things that you've been doing, where they can truly find you.
Yeah, they can. I have a website, www.consciousride.com. We're actually rebooting it. I have somebody that I'm working with right now. We're going to be rebooting that entire website, and also have one specifically for Fear Busters Academy. But they can also reach out to me, message me here on Facebook through this right here. Or you can find me at another way you can find me is www.consciousrideinfo@gmail.com. And yeah, I mean, I look forward, you know, if anybody's out there, if they do have a fear of, you know, limiting beliefs or a fear around public speaking, reach out to me. Let's talk. I do a free session with people, a first 1 hour session. And this just gives people an idea to see who I am, what I'm about, give them some value, right? Things that can help them. And then also see if we're in alignment with each other, right? And then if they want, we can pursue that further if they want to go ahead and coach with me or take my course, or however I can best serve them.
That's amazing.
Thanks, brother.
You have yeah, that's.
I just want to say thank you for having me on here as well, too. I'm very grateful to be here with you. And thank you for the opportunity to be able, you know, share this moment with you, and also be able to influence and give value to your audience as well.
No, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure to meet you and to bring you. It's been a long time. I've been preparing for a long time. But yeah, today is the day. I think it's suddenly this moment really happened. I think maybe it's a universe thing. So maybe you got the time to appear in this. It's really amazing to hear from you the things that you have learned. Okay. And yeah, I think I will too keep in mind all the things that you have been told. I will definitely, and I'll try to share with the lots of more and more people as possible these things. And I'll find the people who have heard it, they will definitely get the value from it. Okay. Awesome. So this is a thing. Okay. And yeah, if any last message that you want to tell, then what should it be like to our people? Any last message?
Man, I mean, we had a pretty deep conversation. Yeah. Just kind of, I guess my last message would be just reflect on everything that I just said, right? And really reflect on it, really condition that. When I say condition, right? Take everything I said into consideration and just really go internal and apply it to your life. And like I said, you know, if your audience wants to reach out to me, I'm here. And thank you once again, brother.
Yep. So thank you, Sean. It's really great to meet you and have this conversation. It went really deep, and I feel that it's needed. I feel that people still needed this, to hear this from this stuff, from the wisdom, from the insight that you have got from life. And yeah, yeah, we're gonna end this, okay? And yes, so we'll stick still. If you are into some new stuff, then I will connect with you and let's know about it someday later, okay? If you have something new trying and all. But till then, have a fantastic day, okay? And live life great, Kishan. And yes,
Thank
speak soon
you.
again.
You as well too, my friend. Thank you.